broadcast, which is coming to you from Bydgoszcz in Poland, and I thought this would be a more unusual and interesting place to do the live broadcast from. But as an introduction, as always, this is your chance to ask any questions that you have got about van life and any questions to do with vehicles or anything in general to do with van life. As indeed travel in Central Europe. Now, a little word on housekeeping, so to speak, for this broadcast is I have a bad case of hay fever at the moment. In fact, yesterday it was so bad that I had to stay in my van all day. So if I suddenly start sneezing, you'll know what the reason is. I'll try to turn the camera away if I can from me, but assuming that is going to be possible. Now, so anyway, any questions, you can just write them down in the chat and send them in like that. Now, I'm also at the top of a water tower, and I'll take you around and show you the view from up here, which is the highest point in this town. This town is I noticed it went off then. I hope it's back on again in the same position. If there's any difficulty hearing me, then please say so, and I shall walk into the water tower itself. So I'm assuming you can hear me. Obviously, I've got in the right hand, and I have got the camera, rather the telephone with the gimbal, in my left hand. So I wanted to show you around a bit. Now, this place is in northern Poland, as I said a while ago, and it's not very frequented by tourists, and that's a pity because it's very tourist friendly. There are 4 places you can stay in a motorhome here. And I'm trying to find the best place to stand, actually. The 4 places you can stay in a motorhome. There's 2 campsites. One is very small, but it's very quite close to the centre. And the second one is a much bigger campsite with all sorts of other facilities. But that is a little bit further away. Right, place called Bydgoszcz. That is Bydgoszcz. And it's in northern Poland. So anyway, there's the view from the back. And my idea was originally to do this from the market square in Bydgoszcz itself. I thought that looked quite an interesting place to do a live broadcast from. Then I thought, no, I'll go to the water tower. This is the highest point, and I'll do it from up here, and you can sort of see the town. Although, in all honesty, maybe if I'd stood by the canal, that would have been a more interesting place to do it from. Anyway, we live and learn. Now, the water tower itself, when I went and visited the water tower, I thought, oh, that doesn't sound very interesting. See a place where water once flowed from. But as it happens, I think it's super interesting. You can see this huge content. Obviously, it's not used anymore as a water tower. Water towers were used in the early days of when water was delivered to houses, because water was pumped up a water tower, and then when people turned their taps on at home, by gravity, it went to where it was desired. So these water towers are not only tall, but they're also normally the highest place in town, as indeed this one still is. But this one was built in 1892. And it was used until 1990, so 98 years use out of it, and now it's a museum. So that came. That was quite handy. I'm going to change my hand. Change my hand to make it easier to actually talk. So I have been in this town now for 10 days. Which goes to show how interesting I think it is. Only yes, 10. Yes, it'll be 10 days now. And so there's lots of museums here, if you're into that type of thing. There is rides on the canal. A couple of 2 museums I found particularly interesting. Sorry, a cough coming. Was the military museum. I spent a day and a half in there, and I've got a couple of videos coming up, including one where I show you how to strip down a Kalashnikov assault rifle. And considering last time I did that was around 40 years ago, at least I remembered. And I've got another really curious museum, is the Museum of Dirt and Soap. I think that is a really original idea for a museum. Of course, lots of little films made in there with an absolutely stupendous guide explaining the history of dirt. And so I think that's quite unusual. I'd have to say that the ice cream I've had here is the best I've had anywhere in Poland. Anyway, sorry, I mean I don't even comparable to that in Italy, I would say. And now, whereas I am on a super healthy diet, as I try to be, and ice cream doesn't fit into that mode, I know. Unfortunately, that is my major weakness as far as the diet is concerned. And another thing is here, there's the river. Well, every town's got a river just about. But you can go on canal cruises. The river here is the Strada. It's connected to the Vistula by means of a canal which was opened, I think, in the 19th century. And so you can sort of get a boat. You could get a boat and go into the Vistula River. Now, the campsite I am now at has a huge potential for a marina. But it's on post-industrial land, and the campsite, I'd have to say, is in construction. But I'll take you around that a bit later and show you what's happening there. So I think, in my opinion, that Bydgoszcz is a very interesting place for a visit. And as I said, it's not very touristy. And there was a campaign a couple of years ago by the tourist authorities here to get people from Poland, so in the south, to go to the sea in the summer, to stop off here for a couple of days. And that certainly wouldn't be a bad idea. And I'm going to try and convince the people at this campsite where I'm at now to, if they can actually work on something along those lines. It does have a long history though of tourism, because along the canals here I found photographs from before the First World War showing trams with special attachment for kayaks. Now, kayaking is very well known here, so it's got this huge long history. Now, for example, in Santa Barbara, where I lived in California, the buses had something on the front to carry bicycles. So this is so they had for trams all those years before. And so thank you for the regards here for the live broadcast from Bydgoszcz. And so anyway, from here, my plan is as follows. I'm going to go up the Vistula River. And so I'm going to near Grudziądz. I'm going to visit a campervan manufacturer there. Oh, sorry, nose. Oh, hay fever. I've noticed if I touch my nose here, that at the very back, it gives me some relief, and I don't sneeze immediately. And anyway, from there, once I've gone there, I follow the river up. I'm going to go to a place called Tczew, and then I'm going to spend at least a couple of weeks, hopefully more, in Gdansk. And then I'm going to follow the Polish coast all the way until I have to drop down from Szczecin, across the border into Germany. I want to spend a few days in Berlin, and from Berlin I then travel west to Dusseldorf. So that's my plans for the next couple of months. So that is the 10th of July, and that will take me to the 10th of September, and then I'll tell you the plans from there, because I've got a complete route prepared which I intend to take in Germany. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And right, so one or two other things I would like to start trying to address, and I'm going to have to do something again on motorhome prices and buying motorhomes, because people keep asking the same questions, and why can't they buy motorhomes and campervans at the list price, or so to speak, as the minimum price which is shown, so I want to do a video on that one, and this thing keeps just coming up constantly. And right, so As there's no more questions, I'll finish there for today. And what I'm going to do, though, before I finish, I'm going to give you a walk around here so you can see a bit of the town. And this seems like a good place to start because this is in the centre. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Right, so the camera is now turned round. Good. And this actually is the historic centre you've got in front of you. You can't really see it that well, of course, because you'd need to be a bit more homed in on it. But I'll do a video with it being more central, homed in. So we've got a big building there, which is a opera building or something. The Old Town Square is sort of down there, following my hand. If we come across, actually, we've got a rather curious thing. There's a bridge that was built in 2013, I think it was completed. And it's now had to be closed. There's an argument over if it's safe or not. But because there's an argument, then it's staying. The bridge has had to be closed, and no one, of course, accepts any responsibility for it. So that's a rather curious thing. So you can see from up here from the water tower. So this is now the southern part of the town. We've got the forest beyond it, and I spent 3 days there because during the Second World War, a large armaments factory, very large armaments factory, second largest that I'm aware of, was built in the forest out there, very well hidden, and that supplied 30% of the explosive material that was delivered to the Eastern Front. So the huge amount of weaponry actually created there. And there is a museum there now, but the forest around it are being post-industrial, and is quite dangerous. There was somebody who went walking in the forest, despite the fact there's signs everywhere saying not to do it, and that person fell into a hole. The shafts were built because of armaments and all the rest of it, and some parts of it were underground. And anyway, apparently it took them a couple of days for the police to find him, but they knew where he was anyway. And so walk quite around. There we have a big commercial centre, shopping centre. That is Auchan. Right, so thanks very much for watching. I don't know if there's any questions in the meantime that came to me, because if there were, I didn't see them. But please do. Questions, don't send them to me personally. Send them either in the live chat or put the comments under films. People send me things. I get about 2 or 3 every single day, and these are things which really could go into the live stuff or very easily. And so that's why if people then complain about me not responding to the emails, well, please put them in. There's so many of them, I just really don't have time to go through them all. So please put them either in the comments or in the live chat. Okay, best regards here from Bydgoszcz. I might try and do another live, but from the main square. But anyway, I'll do that a bit later. Thanks for watching.